Today I'm going to tell you a story about how the samurai in feudal Japan used to overcome fear. Now, I don't know if this is a true story, and in fact, I don't care. I don't even want to know if it's a true story or not, because it is a great story. And it is one that has brought me closer to a truth. So it is in that vein that I share this with you now. Now, the whole point of this story and how we can use this in our own lives is all about how we can train ourselves, to overcome fear, to push ourselves to do the right thing, the noble thing, the correct thing, despite what maybe our body might be screaming at us not to. For this to make sense, I need you to understand, or at least just momentarily imagine, what it would have been like to be a samurai warrior, to be on a battlefield holding a big sword. You know, they were the elite warriors. And your armor, steel was a rare commodity then, so your armor was, as I understand, kind of wood and leather and not like full suits of iron like we had over in Western Europe. You would be there in a field with your, brothers in arms, and the way that the samurai would fight, again, as I understand, big sweeping cutting motions and just planting themselves firmly and just cutting a path through the enemies before them. And they would slowly advance like that. Just big, sweeping, cutting strikes as they advanced. That sounds kind of cool and kind of metal, but also extremely hectic. And imagine the composure that you would need. Imagine being in that environment. You're there, blood, limbs flying. It would be pretty intense. And it is in moments like that that you must train your mind. And here is what they did according to the story that I have held on to for some time. So, in wintertime, you've seen images of Japan in winter. Snow, cold, super cold. As soon as we're snowing, it's. And what these warriors would do, as soon as they woke up, open their eyes, and they would walk straight into the freezing ocean in the dead of winter, snow falling straight into the ocean, the second they woke up. And the reason that they did this was because, I don't know if you've ever done, cold showers, or especially if you've walked into a body of cold water in the winter. But every part of your mind, of your body is saying, don't do this. What are you doing? Go back. This is crazy. Don't, you're warm there. Why are we continuing to walk forward? What the hell is this? And every single step that you take forward into that is you overcoming your mind, overcoming the part of you that is telling you to stop, to turn around, to go back to the safety, the comfort, the warm bed. What are you doing? You crazy man. Yet you overcome that voice, you push it aside, or do whatever you need to do to take that next step, and the next step, and the next step, until you're in the water. And if you've ever done this, it feels incredible. You feel very alive and invigorated. And it's a reward that you can only earn by overcoming, this fear, this voice telling you to run, to go the other way, to not do the thing that you're doing. But you know it's right. You push on anyway, and for overcoming, you are rewarded. So I'm sure you could imagine, or you could see some of the parallels if you're in a war zone and you see the enemy, the other men, running at you with spears and swords, coming to kill you, wanting to take your life. Not in an abstract way, literally wanting to murder you. And you are there on a field with a sword and relatively flimsy armor. And you must advance. With these men rushing towards you, you must step forward. You must take that next step and the next step. And so through this training in the winter, their mind screaming at them, stop, no, go back, they would develop the ability to, in this war zone, take that next step and the next step and the next step as they advance towards their goal and overcome that fear. Now, extremes are useful, extremes are very illustrative. I am going to assume that you're probably not wading forwards towards countless men to hack them in half. I hope not. Otherwise, you should probably call the police. But that's not the actual point. The point of this story is the moral. And we can apply that in our lives. It's human nature. It's in our wiring. It's in your wiring to seek comfort, to be driven by fear, to avoid discomfort, to seek what is known and comforting. It's literally wired into our survival, and we are wired to conserve energy. That's how we survive. But as I'm sure you know, and I'm sure you've experienced on some level, everything that you want is on the other side of fear. All of the great moments that make life worth living, for me, they have lied on the other side of something that at one point or another terrified me. And that's where I found the gold. So if I can train myself to walk forward into that freezing water, or the closest thing I can find to it, then I'm training myself in all those other small little micro moments throughout my day, throughout my life, when I want to stop, when I want to go back, when it's getting a bit too hard. I've trained that part, I've developed my capacity, and I push through. And the easiest way for us to do that in our 21st century, very comfortable lives for most of us, is cold showers. And yeah, there's so many good physiological benefits of the cold shower. And they're legit as hell, I'm a big fan, but that's not why I do it. I do it for that split moment where I'm standing there, and I like to have a warm shower, and that seems an efficient way to get cleaner, I don't know. And then there's this beautiful moment every single day where I turn off the hot water and I stand there and I wait before I know that I'm about to turn on the cold and blast myself. And I don't want to. No one in that moment does. And I do it anyway, and I look forward to that moment every single day, this instant that I get to feel and experience of witnessing myself overcoming something that I don't want to do, but I know I will feel better as a result. I love swimming in frozen cold water as much as I possibly can, but if I don't have access to that, cold shower will do in a pinch. And the point of this story is about training your mind to do those things that you fear, to walk towards the things that fear you, whatever, you know what I mean, that you're afraid of, rather than listen to that little voice that tells you to turn around, go back to where it's safe, go back to where you can play small. Doesn't need to be cold showers either. Any small, tiny moment you can find in any day to overcome that little bit of adversity, that challenge, that thing that scares you just that little bit, push into it, lean towards it, and you will be stretching your capacity to confront fear in future. And I cannot emphasize enough how valuable that will be to build that muscle, build that ability to overcome fear, for what that will mean for the rest of your life. That's a great story, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed. If you made it this far, I'm trusting that you did. I'd love to hear some of your takeaways. This is a bit where we're at the end of the video now. Thanks again for sticking around. Love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear if any of this resonated or some ways you might employ this. Writing this down will help lock it in for you. Any takeaways you might have, putting it down in pen or in the comments, or even just writing it in a journal right now just for yourself, It's going to really magnify what you take away from what you have spent 10 minutes now absorbing and processing. So, recommend doing that too. And of course, my name's Jack, and I post a new video every single day of 2024. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see what I get up to tomorrow, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, I look forward to sharing some more with you. Thank you for your time.